Man, the indie films this year are killing it. Alright, Hollywood, take some notes. Captain Fantastic. Captain Fantastic is the newest film starring Vigo Mortensen while being written and directed by actor Matt Ross. We follow Ben, a devoted father who's raising his 6 children in the wilderness away from societies and big government while putting them through this intense physical and intellectual training. After the death of their mentally ill mother who had returned to society to get some help for her issues, the family decides they must travel across country to give their mother the funeral that she wanted. I'm gonna say this again, alright? The indie films this year have been delivering some of the best cinematic experiences, especially during this summer of disappointments and just boring movies. Where do I even begin? This movie is so unapologetically rich in every aspect of filmmaking, and I'm gonna go ahead and say this right now. This is easily one of my favorite movies of this year. Without question, Viggo Mortensen delivers an Oscar-caliber performance that is so riddled with nuance and humor that it may very well be my favorite performance of this year. He's mesmerizing to watch as you see his character try to balance between being this highly intelligent, sympathetic realist and what he feels like is a great father. He possesses this level of self-indulgence and arrogance that's easily masked by his love and warmth for his children and for life. And it creates this innately human dynamic. Usually whenever an actor has a performance this good, we tend to say that the actor carried the movie. But in this case, the entire cast is excellent to the point of wonderment. This is the best ensemble piece I've seen this year by a long shot, with The Conjuring 2 probably coming in second. I was so captivated by how aware and how highly intelligent all of these kids are because they weren't restricted to society's educational standards. And honestly, it got me to the point where it made me consider, man, why don't I just run off into the woods and live there and learn everything by myself? Seems pretty cool. All 6 children in this movie have a moment to shine, and I really hope to see all of the young talent in this movie have successful careers because they most certainly have the talent to do so. What probably made these performances shine so much was the brilliant writing and directing. Matt Ross really came to form for this film. Every piece of dialogue in this movie is rich and valuable to the characters and the plot. But most importantly, this movie challenges modern society head on while spearheading other issues and ideologies ranging from class structure, religion, and even the food that we eat. This created a nice balance of outlooks that encourages an internal dialogue within us all as we question our own lives and views. Should children in modern society be so sheltered? Should we be holding ourselves to a higher standard? Do people really need to do what they feel like is socially acceptable even though it might not be making them a better person? I mean, these are some of the questions that you'll be asking yourself, and this is proof as to how powerful and brilliant that the writing in this movie actually is. The cinematography, scene design, and symbolism in this movie were also really impressive. You have these lush, natural forests contrasted against these lush, man-made golf courses. And then you have these raggedy campers contrasted against these beautiful million-dollar homes. The juxtaposition of ideologies and ways of life is apparent, but subtle. Nothing is being forced down your throat, and that's what made this art movie feel so refreshing and easily accessible. You're gonna have to stop and think about the majority of things in this movie, or at least you're gonna have to look closely enough to find all of those nuances. But that's what makes this movie so utterly engaging. Even though the story does seem pretty simple on paper, there are actually layers upon layers that are being pulled back as you watch these characters grow under this unfortunate circumstance. Watching this character struggle as he tries to find a balance between being a great father and doing what's best for his children, while also staying true to his own beliefs, is relentlessly human and sincere, while in many places, very painful. This movie pulls a lot of heartstrings, especially for parents or for anybody dealing with any of the many issues that this movie brings to light. And a movie like that is incredible. There's this beauty and simplicity in just watching these characters be together, watching them laugh and cry and argue and learn and grow. Although this movie does possess elements of enlightenment, this movie is more importantly about family dynamics. And it's not often that we get a good movie about that. Both Ben and his father-in-law, played by Frank Langella, are both grieving about the loss of their wife and their daughter. But they both have very different ways in honoring her life because of their vastly different upbringings and views. In this instance, how do you determine who's just? How do you argue over varying methods of grief? Now, there are very few issues that I actually had with this movie, and this is really just me nitpicking at this point. But if I had to choose anything, I do wish they would have characterized 1 or 2 of the children just a little bit more. And that's only because all the other children get at least one solo moment to shine, while the other 1 or 2 are just subjugated to being a part of the ensemble. I also wish they would have expanded upon the relationships between Ben and his immediate family and his in-laws to show us exactly why he chose this lifestyle and to show why there's this clash of ideologies. And although I do understand that the children are supposed to be a physical representation of Ben's relationship with his wife, I do wish they would have shown just a little bit more backstory on his relationship with his wife to make it even more heartfelt. They do it a little bit, and I loved it every time they did, but I just wanted more of it. It would have been interesting to see some snippets of their relationship before this incident and to see how the family interacted when they were complete. It's clear that this movie is an advocate behind the sentiment of regardless of how you live or what lifestyle you choose or how people may view you, as long as you're happy, as long as you're actively trying to become a better person, and as long as you have family, nothing else matters. I can go on and on and on about this movie, but it is easily one of the most thought-provoking and fulfilling movies of this year and is certainly a must-watch. And for all these reasons, I'm going to give Captain Fantastic a 9 out of 10. Captain Fantastic, have you seen it? Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below. And while you're at it, let me know what your favorite performance of this year is so far. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. It truly does mean a lot. If you like this video, hit like. If you want to stick around and see some more movie reviews, hey, hit subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one.